I'm a black man. I met Black Sage a couple years ago, and his words blew my mind. He made me realise how much I didn't know. So we linked up and started BMSG. BMSG believes its duty is to improve the black community we belong to by standing on the shoulders of the older generations. BMSG is for the black man who values wisdom, experience, and knowledge.
All my brothers hear me. Head of BMSG. Yeah. If you're feeling like you lost sight, if you're feeling life just ain't right, when you need a little light, it's your survival guide.
Wilfred Zaha.
He smells a rat. They say that Black Lives Matter, but Black Lives Matter don't matter to them. Black people don't need to be following transgender women who are white married to a black woman who's running an organization called Black Lives Matter, telling black men what to do when they want to remove black men from the center of the black community, which they say or said until they removed it off their website. They said it on their website. So they want to remove Zaha from the center, but they want to guilt trip Zaha when he doesn't take the knee. And the irony of the thing is, the knee is not even Black Lives Matter. The knee is Colin Kaepernick, another black man. So they've colonized, plagiarized Colin Kaepernick's act of defiance.
I never saw it as in support specifically the movement of Black Lives Matter.
I'll tell you why I saw it as a Black Lives Matter thing. Because when Colin Kaepernick was doing it and got kicked out of the NFL, Sky News and the British Premier League weren't showing solidarity with Kaepernick. They only started taking the knee after the Black Lives Matter protests. Right? Liverpool club started it first, and then all the other clubs joined in, and the Premier League mandated it. So it was as if the Black Lives Matter got all these people to take the knee, but when they're taking the knee, they're not saying, let's celebrate Colin Kaepernick for bringing this knee-taking thing out.
What was the first reason for taking a knee in UK football?
George Floyd. It came as a part of the Black Lives Matter movement.
Yeah. I think it might have started out as Black Lives Matter, because they even got it on their shirts.
In the Premier League, yes, they had Black Lives Matter on the shirt, they had the Black Lives Matter
and then eventually
pins and the things on their shoulders.
They
took that away.
Transitioned into whatever
it pivoted because Black
yeah.
Lives Matter UK made a statement about Palestine and Israel. And the Premier League then had to distance itself from that because you don't want to upset powerful people. Right? And they upset the Israelis. For Black Lives Matter to then take issue with Israel, when Israel is an example, a model which we can follow, it's almost counterproductive. On the other side, why you want to upset these people? What have they done to you? What's going on in Palestine? What does that have to do with Black Lives Matter UK? Black Lives Matter was supporting Palestine.
Right.
But if you look at the history of Palestine, black people were enslaved in Palestine by Muslims.
Right.
So why would you support
Right.
your former enslaver
Right.
against your former enslaver?
So this thing goes back to
Mind your business.
mind your business, but they are actually more political rather than about charity.
About us.
Yeah.
They're about liberal politics. They're not about black politics. Democrats, Labour Party, Liberal Democrats, the woke community, the middle class, they follow what those people say. That's not what black people are saying.
They are so big now, you know.
Who are big?
Black Lives Matter.
$90 million big
You know what I'm
in
saying?
1 year.
They've made a hell of a lot of money,
Mm-hmm.
and
Off with the death of George Floyd.
if they've made that much money, question is, where is it going?
Precisely.
Biggest question.
These guys, anyone who has a brain and is trying to create a brand, they want to do things in line with that brand that allow them to succeed. So by giving out $2 million to the people, it's going to make them look like we are doing what our brand says that we are doing. The slight problem with that I think is that people stop there and they think, yes, that is it. This is they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. I'm not going to ask any more questions.
And I'll be at the next march.
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that's one thing that they've done, to my knowledge,
That's the only thing that I can think of.
over a long time.
Since the days of Trayvon Martin's killing.
Yeah.
We are told they formed organically. My suspicions are, quite possibly, they were formed by the Democrat Party. There's this thing in the music industry where some people accuse Stormzy of it, I don't know how true it is, that he's an industry plant that has been made to look like an organic artist that come up through the ranks to get public support, road support, right? Well, these things happen in political organizations as well. You get these organizations that tend to come up, and you think they're grassroots organizations, but they're actually being pushed by the political party, and they're using their machinery to give this organization notoriety, coverage, and popularity, right? Publicity, and that's how they win the hearts of black people. They're led to believe they're an organic grassroots organization, when really they're just a planned, political agenda motivated organization using black people. It's like an elaborate outrage marketing. Let's use the outrage of black people to market our agenda. Dr. Amos Wilson, you want external validation from the person who's enslaved you.
Yeah.
If that's what you're looking, you're never going to get it. And that means they have control over you in perpetuity.
Almost sounds like, is it Stockholm syndrome, the one where
Most definitely.
is that the one where you end up falling in love with the kidnapper?
Yes. Most definitely. You're wise. We need to elevate ourselves beyond seeking external validation and keeping those people who oppress us happy. I feel free. I can talk to white people with a freeness. I got no hate for white people. And they feel it when I speak to them. And some people are uncomfortable. Some white people are uncomfortable with the fact that I have no hate for them. Because they want me to have hate. Because if I have hate, it means they have control over me.
So going back to the topic of the Premier League,
Yeah, we're getting there.
that's how they...
We tie that in by not following a Black Lives Matter. That is kind of pushing a hate.
So Zaha has stopped taking a knee.
And Lyle Taylor as well.
amongst other footballers.
Do you think Zaha is doing this from a place of knowledge?
He's doing it from the same place where Malcolm X did it from. The same
That's
place where Marcus Garvey did it from. The same place where Nani and Kodro did it from. He smells a rat. How revolutionary can you be if the mainstream media is supporting you?
Pretty big.
That's revolutionary. Queen's Park Rangers has done the same. It's interesting because you got Les Ferdinand, which I think he's the only senior black executive in English top tiers of football, and he's not supporting the taking of the knee. They wanted to use the death of George Floyd for political gain.